Oh yeah, we good. We running. We recording right now. All right guys, welcome back to episode of JL Fishing. Today, we're out here on the miraculous Carter's Lake. Water temp is 56 degrees, perfect. A wonderful fall day, high 60 today. We're gonna go out here and try to catch them. From what I could tell around the boat ramp, water's kind of clear, so I might have to change out my jerk baits to some more clear water patterns, match the hatch a little bit better. Oh yeah, I got something to show y'all. Check that out. Can y'all see that? First ever tattoo. I knew it had to be fishing related because I know fishing will stick with me for the rest of my life, and tattoos are permanent, so there we go. Now when I'm sitting at work, I can look down at my arm and just wish even more that I was fishing, you know what I'm saying? The areas I'm gonna try to key in on is try to focus on more creeks, but I also wanna run the sections of bank where we caught them at prior, like a month ago. Yeah, I haven't been out here in like a month. The stars haven't lined up for us to come out here, and work's picking up because of Christmas time, you know, so just very thankful for getting out here when we can. Luckily today's Sunday, feels great out here. We're gonna spend some time catching some spotted bass. Let's get it. Actually, got my graph on right there, just in case we see some out deep. It works half the time, so maybe it'll work for a couple hours for us anyways. About my rod selection, I've narrowed it down a lot, and there's a reason for that. Summertime, you can throw just about anything to catch some fish in the summertime. In my head, I'm confident a whole lot more during that period of time. So what helps me catch fish in the colder months is a narrowed down rod selection, because in my head I'm not thinking, oh, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. Well, I got 3 rods here to choose from. I have no choice but to buckle down and catch fish on those. And it's just easier. It might help you out. That's a tip that I learned just from putting time in on the water. Sometimes a narrowed selection of rods helps you. But what I do have is a drop shot, a little small Kitech, and of course a jerk bait. I'm just gonna keep throwing that jerk bait, see if I can get bit on it. If I run across some schools on my graph, I'll throw this. I think that's a 1/4 ounce head on a 2.8 Kitech. Perfect finesse way to catch them. But yeah, water's up, pretty good bit. Still gonna throw this, see how they react to it. The water's kind of got some stain to it. Not much to matter. It's still being somewhat overcast. Makes me think that a white still would be a good color to throw. And it feels bluebird skies, clear water. I might go towards a more natural looking color. Hey, while something's working, why change it, you know? This bank we're coming up on here now is where I got all them bites at a couple weeks ago, and it's setting up even better now. The wind's coming blowing down it. Got a lot of potential, I'll tell you that. We got a lot of potential today. See what we can do with it. Might order to get my net out. I don't know. "6-mile-an-hour winds my ass." It's f***ing blowing out here. Yeah, see, look at that graph right there. Like it starts like sonaring for a little bit and then just stops. It's just time for a new one, I reckon. I have no idea what's wrong with it. It gets annoying after a while. Really hoping to have live scope over the winter season, if I can save up enough money. We hooked up, boys. We are hooked up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this is a pig. This is a pig. That was stupid. If you're watching this, don't do that. We're getting the net out. I didn't know the fish was that big.
That's what she said?
I had no idea. It wasn't even fighting or nothing like a big one should, but that's how my fishing luck goes. That was my fault. I shouldn't have tried to boat flip it. Probably the closest thing I got. I'm telling you, that was a good one. Man, but what can you do? Just gotta laugh about it. Adjust and move on. Learn from your mistakes. It's the only thing you can do. The net is out. You know what? I'm gonna switch it up. That fish was so shallow. I'm gonna throw a little shallow running one. That was actually my only jerk bait like the one I've been throwing. When these spots are feeding, I don't think they're that picky, but I think I'm more the opposite of transparent. Whatever that is, that's the color I think right now. Because of the overcast conditions, I don't think any translucent, transparent, whatever colors will be working. You want something wide or a little bit of flash to it. Help the fish see it better, really. Now that we know they're biting, we gotta put our heads down and get to work. Daggum stig. Had me thinking it was a bass. Well, one bite in 1 hour is not too good. And let me tell you, it was sort of with my hypothesis that started the day, but I expected us to get bit in the back of these creeks, not the mainest point on the lake. That halfway makes sense, because anytime you got wind blowing on the main lake point, it generates bait, therefore bass come in, but I figured we'd got bit in one of these creeks right here. But I did notice a creek that honestly never even been into. We're gonna scoot over there and try that place out. Safety first, especially when you're by yourself. Wear your life jacket. Right back there is the back of this creek, so I didn't go to the very back of it. So let's fish probably a 1/4 mile stretch right here, out of the wind. Got one, boys. Another freaking stud. Get in here, boys. Whoa, let's get it. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What just happened? Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Whoa, yeah, baby. Oh my gosh. Cha-ching, baby girl. The big uns are biting, boys. Get your butts down here and catch them. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Yeah, baby. We're making a comeback, boys. Making a comeback. Yes. Next freaking cast in the tree. Cut that shit out, TJ. Cut it out. So what makes the conditions different in this video than it was last video is the lake is rising. And when the lake is rising, that generally just turns on the creeks versus last video when they was pulling water, we had to focus on the dam area and stuff because of all the underwater current. When they're pushing the water back up, in my experience, it makes the creeks even better. And that's why I've been focusing on these creeks versus main lake stuff. Is this knowing their destination in the winter is going to be in the back of these creeks? I'm thinking they're already making their way back up in here. Like that last fish I caught, it was pretty far back up in the creek. I mean, it wasn't at the very end of it, but it was further than the midsection, you know what I'm saying? So trying to just keep that in mind when I'm trying to locate these fish. And when you do that, it also helps you eliminate water. It's JL Fishing tip of the day. When they're raising water, focus on some good creeks. Your favorite creeks, and just go fishing. I don't know what I got, boys, but I got something. Boom! Oh, that's a solid fish right there. That is a solid. Look how freaking beautiful that thing is. God. I saw him eat it. Look how beautiful. Thank you, Jesus. Now we got two, one for each hand, you know what I'm saying? Woo! We fished so long without a bite. Then he hit right here. Thank you, Jesus. These fish are just like not fighting at all. Every fish that I've hooked today felt like a little one. Just like the one that I broke off right there. I'll never forget that. I wouldn't have tried to boat flip it if I knew it was the size that it was. I didn't know it was gonna be like a freaking 3.5, 4 pounder until I pulled it up out of the water. And then I was like, oh, I've done effed up, you know what I'm saying?
Damn, I messed up. We gotta go ball, fam.
Oh, shit.
Mid creek. This right here is exactly the midsection of this creek. I'm telling you, just follow me, subscribe to me. I'll teach you a thing or two. Not just about fishing, but I'll also teach you on what not to do. They do seem to be eating it good. That's important. The bites have slacked off because of this cool weather, obviously. But the ones that do eat it tend to eat it good. They're not active enough just to run and swipe at it. If they're gonna come to it, they're gonna eat it. That's what I've learned today. Well, that's a wrap on today's fishing trip on Carter's Lake. Every fishing trip, you learn something new. And today I learned to always have that net out because that's a heartbreak preventer. Because one, I had that fish in the boat, and two, I'd have had my jerkbait back. And that was what was hindering me today, because I had to settle for this shallower running one when the fish I was catching was just a tad bit deeper than this would go. And Only hooked 3 today, but they was daggum good ones. But the key was getting it right in their face. And that +1 would got it down deeper than this would go. So learned that. Also learned to keep spares in the boat, which 25 bucks a pop for each jerkbait. You go out in hopes of not breaking it off, you know? So the key areas where I caught fish was sort of went right along with what I was thinking. In the creeks, middle of them. Another month or two, they're gonna be way back up in here. In these ditches and stuff, well, right now, they're just now making their way up in here. About the midsection is where I got them fish at. And besides that one that was on the main lake, which that threw me off to begin with. But yeah, the midsection of the lake, you can't go wrong. Any shad imitating baits. I'm not against throwing worms, jigs, and all that, but to me, power fishing to match the forage they're eating on right now is 100% the way to go, because they're just feeding up on shad right now, getting their bellies full, getting ready to go halfway dormant in the winter. It's awesome to know with the temps we've had, the cold temps, that there's still a power fishing bite. Eventually, it'll be down to 0%. I already seen guys out here in the middle of like 100 foot of water, drop shot and spooning and all that on groups of fish out there in deep water. And that's just not my style. So it was awesome to come out here, fish like I want to fish, power fishing fast, and still catch a few. And I didn't have to go to that deep water stuff just yet, but I ain't looking forward to that. Glad to see the quality is starting to get replaced. Like, you know, this whole past year we've been fishing shallow and 75% of the fish were small. Well, I didn't catch a small one today. All 3 that I hooked was good ones, and they was in spots where we was catching small ones in the past. So it's great knowing the quality is starting to come up. So you need to come in here and take advantage of it while the fish are up. It's just a blast. If y'all enjoyed it, smash that like button, drop a comment. We'll see y'all next time. Go ahead and get these fish released, but before I do, I'm gonna warn you, better duct tape your socks on, because when you see these fish wobble off in the wire, they're gonna knock your socks off. Smaller one, 2-pounder. Man, that water splash gives me every time. Now here is that big one. It's every bit 3 pounds. God, can you see that? Just like that, they gone. Thank you, Jesus. Oh yeah. My God. Oh. That's a spot, dude. Can you see that? Woo, woo.